Greetings, this is Davan. Welcome to my new Let's Play, Settlers 2 Gold Edition. I've recently finished the campaign in Heroes of Might and Magic and was looking for a second game to replace it with because I wanted to give the franchise a break, especially since Meridian, who inspired me to start doing the Let's Play of Heroes of Might and Magic and Let's Playing, is recently going through the Heroes of Might and Magic 2 campaign. And so I was looking through and seeing what was about in my GOG library, and I came across this little number, which was one of my favourites earlier today. Because of the way that it was a strategy world building campaign, but most of the economy was about dealing with connections and roads and managing placement of points so that the people could process. So it was more about networks than it was about buildings and stuff. So it gave you an unprecedented amount of control, which unfortunately seemed to get lost in the later editions. This is another game that I've never actually completed. I'm going to be doing the Roman campaign, hopefully finishing it. I mean, it seems Let's Play it. So let's see, and let's go ahead and see how that goes. Check the options first. I have to go into the campaign. So we will start off with the first chapter. Off we go, which is the tutorial chapter. Enough that we can learn about the game. It's a much easier entrance than just being done in the second. So Diary of Octavius and Stones. What I will do is I'll try and turn some of this down a bit, because as much as the music is to do, it is actually, it can be quite annoying. So yes, this is us, and this is our island. Completely. This recently got re-released, well I say recently, a couple of years back they released a 10th anniversary edition of this because it has been considered one of the best games in the franchise. So, first, having a look around, we've got some trees over there, we've got stonemason there. So, we will have a look. This is our building grid. As we clear the area, we will open up more and more space. For now, what we need is a woodcutter. Now they're small because that's all we can fit on these buildings in this space. So that builds it's where the building's going to be. Now this is the entrance ramp, which is where you build your roads to and from. So we'll go like that. Now if we turn it off, what you'll see is the road's been placed fairly quickly, and they're going for the simplest route that's the easiest for it to go. We have our builder out, and what you will notice is that boards have started coming from our stockpile for our headquarters. They get carried along person by person like a human bucket chain along the route, and then when they're dropped off at the entrance sites, as we can see now, the builder will start building. On some of the bigger sites you might need to clear the ground first, so you'll get people digging out and trying to level the ground. But basically we let that build for now. I mean, the economy is actually quite simple here. What you're seeing is a woodcutter will chop wood. Goes without saying, which will provide logs. They'll go round and chop down trees, which are a sort of finite resource, sort of. And as the trees get chopped down, the area gets cleared and you can build more on it. Let's have a bit of a look around what else we've got here. We've got some stone over here, we're by the coast. And this blue bordered area is pretty much our territory for now. So we'll just let that build and we can speed that up. For now I'm going to let you see because... can we zoom in? I can't remember the button to zoom in. We have... This is our map where we can see the area that we cover. That's the area. There's the buildings that we got, not that you can see much of it, and the roads. This was, I think, around about 96. There's our woodcutter going in, and we'll start seeing him chop some logs. So, which at the time made it a fantastic game, with fantastic graphics. And while the graphics have been improved in the anniversary edition, the gameplay has remained intact and has been a kind of timeless classic, as it were. Now there's the logs going in and basically into the storehouse, and we'll start getting some logs. The next step on the wood chain is to get a sawmill, which is a slightly bigger building. Put that there, because it's good to have it close to. Our storehouse. So what's going to happen is the same thing out. We had people come out to do the walking between the two, transfer the goods. We've got a gardener, a leveler or whatever, someone with a spade to come and flatten the area around so they can build. Basically they will clear the area, flatten the ground. The steeper the area, the more work it takes to level it. I will probably, for the sake of convenience, and because this can be a relatively long game, put this on twice a week in the Heroes of Might and Magic slot. So that would be a Monday and a Friday. It saves me having to change the lists for any of my other games. So here comes the builder, now to build our sawmill. Takes a bit more wood, and this building takes stone. Now we aren't limited to just one building at a time. We can basically build, we can site as many as we want, and as long as we've got the resources to build them and then to staff them, they'll be created. Just for now, rather than doing a whole lot of stuff all at the beginning, we might as well take the time to see what's going on. Catchy tune, isn't it? I mean, the premise behind this story is your shipwrecked on an island after leaving to explore from Rome to some colony, and therefore you've got to try and explore the mysteries of the island to get back. And basically what happens is you progress through a series of gates, we'll see more of this later, through a series of islands till we can actually get back. Each island being the more difficult. And you'll notice also the way that these are built, which is they build the framework and then kind of put the outside out around it. And you can sort of understand why as a graphics limitation. Although it does seem a bit odd given the isometric nature, but it's like they're basically building a framework and then draping a tent over it and pulling it up slightly, but they just add to the cartoonishness, I guess, and give you a visual indicator of how far they've come through building. But once this is built and we've got our carpenter, who's actually the person who chops the logs into boards, we'll see the first part of our economy going ahead. In this case, basically what happens is logs come from the woodcutter, or from storage if you've got them in storage, just helps speed things up. And they go to the carpenter to be chopped into boards, but they'll be returned. And if you remember, boards are the primary construction resource for our buildings. Now what you should see is this log coming from the woodcutter will now go straight to the carpenter. There we go. And our first set of boards have come out. So now we've basically secured a supply of boards, at least until the logs run out. So the next step is we need to get a stonemason to get some wood. Now that is easy enough to do as well. We have a quarry here, and we can just do that. It's the same thing. Now there are two kind of schools of thought here. Basically it's a case of whether you should have long paths versus short paths. Depending on how much the frequency, it's basically a case of, do you want to spend extra people to put extra flags in the road, plus giving them extra points, especially when there is a limit to the amount of material that can be around a single flag. When if someone can't deliver what they want and there's no space to drop it at the flag, they will just keep holding it, and it will bring your transit network, which is the main point of the game, to a standstill. More importantly, the transport networks can become incredibly long. But for me, what I like to do, I like to plan the longer routes, and then as they go up and I'm adding more buildings, tend to shorten the routes, put more junctions in, stuff as it needs to go. Basically the main part of the game is managing the transport network to keep everything functioning. That's what makes the sense. Now what you will see with our quarry is exactly the same idea as with our woodcutter. The stonemason will now go out and basically chip away at the surrounding rock, which results in slightly more cleared land to build. Okay, stone. Okay. Now, what we've got is the option when a request to build a forester. What a forester does is replants trees in a given area. They don't actually need to deliver anything on doing it. So pathing for a forester isn't important as long as it's connected. I mean, the interesting thing is, thanks to the forester, trees are a nigh on infinite resource, so you can have any amount of wood. Unfortunately, there isn't a way to regain stone or any of the other resources. Meanwhile, we have a notification element which is basically telling us we've got a new building type. This is where we'll get all our messages of what's going on. It is very catchy, you've got to admit. I mean, most of the small buildings only require wood, so yeah, 11th day. So, So, the first thing we have to do is to build barracks. Basically, territory acquisition in this game. Basically, as you build your defences, your military structures, you'll experience a border push, which will expand the area out up until you encounter another border. There's no enemies in this level, but we'll deal with that in the next level, in the next chapter. But that is the premise. So the idea is you try and expand to the point where you can claim as much territory as you can, and then basically you fight for the rest. Now you don't get to actively control the units when they fight. Instead, basically you get to build your defences, build up and train, and you essentially tell them to go out and try and attack the enemy. So it literally becomes a kind of logistics exercise between who's got the better troops, as well as a little better tactical planning as you're trying to think, well, what fortress or what garrison do you want to take next, what areas do you need, so forth. And if you lose a border that's like a barracks or something that's controlling the border will retract, and any buildings that are outside will be instantly destroyed. You can also see our forester there is going out and planting trees. There's those small little things that will soon grow to be big little things. Now, trees take up space, and the forester tends to plant more trees in single woodcutter than each one down. It can be annoying, but here we see a barracks being built, and our first soldier has come out. Soldier will guard the barracks, and our borders will expand. they push forward, we get all this stuff in there. Okay. Now for the second part we were said about a geologist, so what we want to do is we don't have to put buildings there, we can stick a flag in there, so simple flag. Then what we can do is we can call in geologists, and I'll show you how a scout works as well, because they work the same way. Basically what they do is, oh no, we've got a scout, there's a scout there. The scout, they walk up to the flag, and will then, geologists will explore the area, attacking the ground, looking for resources. On the other hand, scouts will simply walk out beyond the area, try and explore some of the darkness and show us more of the way. And scouts are useful if you're looking for the enemy. See, meanwhile the geologist will stick little placards up telling you what's in the area that they're exploring. The blank one shows there's nothing there. You can find water. But that's fairly obvious from the state of the green. We have found iron and iron mine, an iron smelter and an oven. So right up here we've found iron. So we know there's iron in this area here. There is like the interesting, more complex economic chains. And the way they work might actually surprise you. Iron, we can build an iron mine. So we will do that. We will build an iron mine there. That way we can pull that flag down. Not building an iron. Meanwhile, call in another geologist. Helps speed up because the geologist, now we pull down the flag, will go. And there's our mine slowly being built. Okay. So time to start calling it, right? I think it's been half an hour. This has been Darvain doing Let's Play Settlers 2 Gold Edition. We will leave our happy smiling geologists there. As we save, go to the game menu, and we will save the game as that one there, apparently. Unless we don't get to name the game in this one. There we go, just so we know. We'll do that in this there we go. Okay. In the meantime, like I said, this has been Darvain. We're letting you enjoy the chippy tunes, the catchy tunes of Settlers 2 Gold Edition. And until next time, goodbye.